All right, Grady Polcyn here, Family First Life America. Humbled, honored, and blessed, and excited to have my man Josh Williams of FFL Knockout on with us today. He's been here for 6 months.
6 months, just
6 months, leading a team now. I'm excited to have Josh on here. He's been at the FFL now. He joined us this year, started coming out the gate swinging from a production standpoint, and he's helping a lot of agents put them in a real good perspective, real good situation. And then I always love his perspective. He's got a phenomenal mindset on the business, and his whole goal is to help people. And that's something that you don't see a lot in people that don't succeed, right? And it's funny to say that. People are like, well, wealthy people are evil, rich people are this or that. And it's like, listen, you can't get really successful if you're not a good person. Yeah. If you don't genuinely, you can't, because there's two ways to make money: talent or leverage. You can be highly talented and sell a bunch of insurance, but you're not going to create leverage if people don't want to work with you and they don't trust you. And it's 100% obvious. People like working with you and they like trusting you. But let's back all the way up, dude. I'd love to hear your story. To hear about you, hear about, how you found insurance, X, Y, and Z, man. Love to hear, let's give us some background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm 26 years old now. I actually was licensed when I was 18. I was playing some college football, tore my ACL.
Oh, man.
Ended my career. So, it was fun while it lasted. And I originally jumped right into life insurance. And I've done many things since. Well, when I was 18, 19 years old, I didn't really take it too serious. Okay. I was with the practice company that did not provide any type of resources or leads or whatsoever. I got licensed, got thrown out there, and I was selling family and friends, made a quick, bucks and a few bucks, and then got out of it. So, just in and out. I did many different things, from network marketing, selling cars, pools, health insurance. I've sold pretty much anything you could think of for the last 8 years, just looking for the right opportunity. Unfortunately, 3 years ago, it kind of lit this passion in me to get back into the insurance world, because my little brother at the time was 20 years old, and he was actually shot and killed. So my family and I had our own, experience with what we're doing now, so it was very, very difficult. When that happened, I realized two things on my end. Number one, people needing life insurance. It was very difficult for us. And when we sat down at the table, the very first thing the guy asked my mother was, how are we going to pay for this process? So I'm like, dude, I've got to go use this license, and I've got to go protect as many families on the planet, And the second thing I realized is that I was completely just abandoning this massive vehicle to create so much wealth and opportunity for my family. And had I taken it serious, maybe my family wouldn't have been in the position they were in. Maybe they wouldn't have been in that environment. Whatever. So I got back into it on a mission to protect families and on a mission to take care of my family. And I took my last $800, drove across the country from Kentucky all the way out to Arizona, where I joined my practice company 2 years ago. And I slept in my car for the first 3 weeks while I built my business. And I was out here. My mother was begging me, baby, just come back home. And I'm like, no, mom, I'm not coming home until I know I can do this, And I was just so stuck on, I'm doing this. I'm going to figure it out. It's time for me to grow up. It is what it is. So I slept in my car, and I would send thousands of messages, and I learned, what to say to people, what not to say to people, where to find people, just all these different things. And I ended up building a pretty decent sized business. And, it was going great for myself, but with the comp that, we were experiencing and the way we generated business, it was very difficult for my team. And I really, really care about my people. And what happened was, it came to a point where I'm like, dude, I don't feel good doing what I'm doing. And I had to find something else. And I found FFL, and here we are 6 months later. Yeah.
It's incredible, man. A lot in there. One, I'm very sorry about your brother, bro. Two, you have a huge heart, which is apparent. You wear it on your sleeve. You wear it, right in front of you. To be taking care of your family is huge. But three, I'm like, what could this guy have texted you to get, or called you? Who said what to get you to go live in your car for 3 weeks and move from Kentucky to Arizona? What's that recruiting message? How do we get that one?
You know what? It wasn't a message. It was, I saw. And this is a big thing with recruiting. And it's actually the opposite of what I do, but it was what attracted me.
Please teach us.
What it was I was seeing the lifestyle and the fancy cars and the things that these people were living and doing. And I'm like, well, that guy looks pretty young and he looks successful from his social media platform. You know what? Let me go out there and check it out. Got out here and it was not what I expected. But I saw that people were making some money. It just depends on how long you're there and what. It's a different business model.
Sure.
And that's fine. And I leaned into that business model and I did it to the best of my ability and I made it work.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no conversation. The guy that I worked with, he had a conversation with me for maybe 2 minutes. I said, I'll be there in 2 weeks.
Got it.
So, yeah. But when you're a player, when you guys are recruiting, when you're a player and you're recruiting or you're talking to players always play. So it's like, for me, dude, you don't have to sell me on it. Like, what do you have? What's the comp? Like, what is it? I'm ready to go. So it was really simple.
Got it. Okay. Crazy, man. That's, let me back up. So there's a big component of recruiting that comes from look what I have, but there's also a big part that says, look what I can teach you how to do. And I think that's where you've transitioned now is you're not flashy. I would not say you're flashy at all. And I think that that's almost a magnetism to you is, sometimes you can be turned, like if I see a guy who's 27 as a Ferrari, I'm like, what the, like, what happens sometimes is you go family money, you go inheritance, you go, what, he sells drugs, right? What you go, but then you start thinking about that, which is unfortunate that that's kind of the thing. But I think that if we can just recruit in a way where we're constantly uplifting and, hey man, this is what I've helped people do. I have X number of people that are making this dollar amount. Here's a short overview video that there's less skepticism that's put out, because all skepticism is unanswered questions. But if we can eliminate skepticism, we're presenting our business to people by just showing numerical facts and breakdown of comparisons. Educated people want to move forward, and I don't want people that are constantly consumed by just hype, right? Oh, how do I get, like, if it's all about the money though, if they have a hard day or a hard week, then they might do things almost unethically when they sit with clients, right?
Every time you attract the wrong people. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So, okay. 6 months ago, you came to FFL. Now you are really good at launching people fast. Like you get them launched crazy fast, right? I mean, 8 new writers this week, 68 total writers this week, 8 of them new.
Yeah.
We're between, I would say 6 and 12 new writers every single week. And I know you travel around, you do calls, Zooms, et cetera. Give us a breakdown. Like if with this group on the call right now is new agents, what do you do, go through, kind of let's coach all them to get up and running fast?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the main thing when getting someone started is just, they need to know, like any big business, any just booming business, they have great systems and like structures for their people, right? So I think the main thing is just a confused mind will never, ever take action. It just won't happen because they don't know where to start, what to do, what's next, this, that, and the other. So when I bring someone into the business, I take it very, very serious. If I recruit, whoever, John over here, I so deeply feel like it's my responsibility to make this person successful to an extent, right? But the way we kind of outline these things is we have a very simple game plan. The first thing is FFL bootcamp, right? So if you're not completing the FFLamerica.com, go to bootcamp. You should be completing that first. That's the first thing they're doing. We're game planning with these people to figure out what is their financial situation. Right. So a lot of times, I've had many people who maybe have had $500 to spend and they're ready to go and they wanted to go all in for this thing. And I've got another guy who also has $500, but he can't afford to do a road trip plus the car rental plus the hotel. So I say, look, we have 2 broke people. We take 2 broke people, add them together. We got 1 average income person, right? So like you guys just partner up and you guys split the lead costs. You guys have a 30% discount from completing boot camp. You guys will be able to get 100, 150 plus leads, depending on what type of lead flow you go with. So we just pretty much give them a game plan and structure. Now, the biggest thing though, is that the only thing I really pay attention to is booking. Booking is so important with what we do. So if I'm spending time getting new agents going, they can road trip. Sure, I do a lot of road trips and get people going, but you could do it over Zoom. We have lots of agents that I've never actually met, which is crazy that we're in business together. I've never met them before, but we're doing Zoom calls and we're just pounding the phones together, or we're going back and forth, learning our rebuttals, because we really get three or 4 things on the phones. And when you match those things and you're quick, ever. So we give them a very structured game plan on how to go out and have success on the phones. I don't care too much about the in-home stuff, to be honest.
Got it. Go give us that though, the phone script. So for rebuttals, what are they?
Yeah,
So how do you do that? Give us the 2 to 4 minutes, however you do that.
So the main thing is, for one, people are scared of the phones and they have anxiety, they have fear. Even when I came over, I've been doing thousands and thousands of calls for a long time, but I still have fear coming into FFL on the phones because it was new and that's normal. So what we do is we do lots of rebuttals. They always dial with the phone script in front of them for one, but the rebuttals, you want to hear the rebuttals?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of times you'll get people saying, I've already got this taken care of. We use a lot of 1 month and 3-month-old leads because of the price, right?
Yeah.
$3-4 a pop. But along with those is that, you get a lot of these people saying, I've already done it. I've already taken care of it. So the way we handle that is just like a path of least resistance. And what we'll say is, yeah, that's actually the reason I'm calling. You should have received your policy packet in the mail by now. Have you received that yet, Grady?
I haven't.
No. Okay. Well, it should have been there by now. How long ago was this?
Oh, a few weeks ago.
A few weeks. It definitely should have been there by now. No worries. The reason I was calling though is because once you get your life insurance set up, you should have received a policy. And that's actually what I'm calling about, to review that with you, make sure that everything's done properly on your application. That way there's no holdups or anything. When it's time to get that money out to your family. It takes about 10 minutes. Once we get that taken care of, we'll check you off and you'll be all set. And I'm booking that as a policy review. And
Nice.
I'm going over there, dude, and it's the simplest thing. And to be honest, the sad thing is that I go into a house 9 times out of 10, these people think they have $100,000 whole life and it's an accidental policy.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest sell you ever do. I sell a lot, 10-minute presentations, walking out with the proper protection for them and a check for me.
Yeah.
Doing that.
And so the way you kind of facilitate that, you go check their bank account, right? Is there any unique bills on your bank account from companies that you don't recognize? Oh, there's $13 from XYZ company. Yep.
A lot of times they'll have their policy packet. Most of the time they say yes.
Okay. So they say
especially with
yes.
the 1 to 3-month-old leads, they usually say yes, they already have it. So their policy pass, great. Go ahead and make sure you have that out, Grady. When we get there, it'll make things go a lot quicker. I literally get there. Hey, here's my license. You can see who I am. And it's crazy because our license, like, we're brokers and we're brokers through the state, right? So our license doesn't say like Family First Life. It says Arizona, it says
Correct.
Kentucky, whatever. So when I go there and here's my license, license for the state of Arizona, my job is very simple. Do you have that policy packet? Sit down, go through this. And then if I see a flaw, then I fix it. If I see nothing wrong, I leave.
Good. That's right. That's called ethics.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. And that's good. I mean, a lot of times you can go, I've done that many times, and not hundreds of times, but it actually feels good to go, hey, you're in a really good position.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that Bob took care of you. You're in a really good position. Here's my card. If you can ever get a hold of him, or you've got anybody in that, and that sometimes is, a referral script. You could say, do you know anyone? How would you handle referral maybe in that situation?
Well, with referrals, the way I book is I book the beneficiary, right? So, for example, if I sell you a policy, or even if you put down the beneficiary, I'll say, so Grady, who's your beneficiary for this?
Chantel.
Okay. Now, does Chantel know this already? Have you talked to her about that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna have to give her a quick call to make sure she accepts responsibility for that. So give me 1 second. Call right then and there because Grady's right next to me. I have the phone on speakerphone. Hey, Chantel, this is Josh. I'm actually sitting here with Grady. Say hi, Grady.
Hi.
Hi. So the reason I'm calling is we set up his life insurance and he actually put you down as the beneficiary for his life insurance program. So 2 questions. Number 1, do you accept responsibility for that? Yeah, of course I do. Okay, great. Secondly, I've got to figure out a 10-minute window to go sit down and go over this with you to explain this coverage and how it works. That way, when something happens, you know how to file a claim for this. And then he also wanted me to explain the type of coverage and how it worked as well and make sure you had yours set up. And I'm booking that and I'm going
Right
over
there.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there. So it's, okay. So a lot of clients we sit with are seniors, and generally, so my Chantel's my wife, who would probably be at the table, but in the majority of the situation, it's going to be the
adult
kid, children,
friends. A lot of times too. A lot of times I sit down with elderly people and it's like their best friend.
Yeah.
Whatever. So.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes they live in the same complex.
Yeah.
And you go book it and go over. All right. So if anyone's taking notes, that was a note point. Drop R in the comments below to go, that was a legit way to get more production from referrals. Yep. And you're what are you doing for the first sale? Highly solidifying the first sale by servicing the beneficiary. You're tying it all together. There's no agent coming behind you that goes, you sat with me and my daughter, and then my daughter's, ex-husband and took care of all of us. You're protecting your business.
Absolutely.
That's excellent. So any more like common rebuttals other than we already got that taken care of? You
I think the number one thing that people get on the phone is as soon as you call someone that says, I'm not interested. like the quickest, that's what you get a lot, especially with like our CRM leads, which I love. That's all I actually run is CRM.
Price is Right.
That's all I run. I don't do anything else. So with the CRM leads, when you get these people that say not interested, first off, you have to understand that they don't even know what the heck you're calling for. Like you're a random phone number calling them. And most of the time, each one of us, we get at least 10 different calls throughout the day about how we need to update our cars, extended warranty and all this crap, right? So because of that, these people are in the mindset of hearing you and immediately clicking. So you just have to disrupt what they've got going on to spend some more time on the phone with them. So when I call you and then you immediately tell me not interested, I'm just going to not interested in what? And the response that you're going to typically give me 9 times out of 10 is going to be, well, whatever this is or whatever you're trying to sell me. And then I'm going to say, oh, I'm sorry, Joe. I must have confused you. I'm Josh. I'm actually calling about the request that you filled out and sent into our office here. And now you put down your date of birth. That's 8/8/95. Is that correct? Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm calling about. You also put down the delivery and I'm getting to their information because their information is the credibility.
Control.
Yep.
Strong control. Excuse me? Like,
Yeah.
I like it, dude. So just for any agent that's listening to the way Josh does it, Josh has dialed the phone a bunch of times. The difference between where you are right now on your first or third or seventh dial day is just a few more dial days away from where Josh is.
Yeah.
And you got there probably on your 10th dial day. You didn't get there on your 100th, but you guys have to get past dial day 3 and thinking that your second batch of leads you bought and you didn't make $1 billion, that this doesn't work. It's supposed to be hard in the beginning. This separates the winners from the average.
Absolutely.
That's what this is. That's what that was. That was an excellent return that now you know forever. It's like without even thinking.
Yeah.
My kids asked me yesterday, Dad, how do you know how to drive all the way to the store? And I'm like, how do you know how to get to your bedroom? They're like, well, that's silly. I'm like, the same thing. You just muscle memory.
Been there before.
Like how do you know all this stuff, Dad? And I'm like, I've been to Costco, like, I don't know, 200 times.
Yeah.
Right. How many times your sister poops? Like, we got diapers for days. So, okay, coming back. All right. So leads, CRM leads, we got some. It sounds like a thing that I'm highly hearing is you spend far more time focused on the phones than most people do. And that which is booking. If you help agents get appointments, they can go no sale their first 10, but you sat in front of 10 people, John, don't you understand that? We can figure out the rest of that.
Yep.
So what else? What are the other final maybe components that from a Josh Williams new agent boot camp that we can pull from this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we get people on the road. I think that's the biggest thing. Regardless of, it started because we didn't have as many leads as we would like in a certain area. But what it turned out to be is that I realized that when you get people away from their home, away from their friends, away from their family, away from all these distractions, and you go out to a hotel conference room, or you go out to an Airbnb and you all pitch in $100, $200, like it keeps the expenses low for one. And then on top of that, you've got this room full of maybe 3-4 managers, 3-4 people who can train, and 3-4 new guys who are like looking around and dude, you all are hitting the phones. And when someone's not working or not dialing, you're like, dude, what's going on, Grady? Come on, let's go, dude. Or you say something on the phone and I know how to handle it and you bomb it. Hey, say this next time. Or I might snatch the phone out of your hand and take over the call and get the appointment booked for you, and you hear it and you're like, oh, that's how, right? So I think the biggest thing you can do for getting people started is showing them the intensity of dial days. If anyone has been with me on the road and done dial days, like we will sit there and we will dial from 8 a.m. sharp and we will dial until the night's out. You either will hit your goal or you're going to end with 800 plus phone calls. No ifs, ands, and buts. If you don't do it, I will not travel with you or work with you again, because that's just work ethic.
That's right. That's it. You set the precedent. You establish it for your team. The fact of the focus on the phones is so crucial. Matt Smith used to go, this business is 80% phones, 15% in-home, and 5% product knowledge. And it's so crystal clear that if you get that established. Now, what I would tell everyone here is we've had a lot of conversation around virtual, which is great. But what you have to understand, though, as Josh has just illustrated, there's significant power in removing yourself from all distractions, especially when starting something new that has so much power as this. And when you sit at home and you're in your boxer shorts and you're waiting for a live transfer to come in and none come in and 3 come in the day and you sell 1, you didn't make any money that day.
Yeah.
And that's your choice. But there's superpower when you got 9 appointments booked and you leave the house at 7 in.the morning with a lunch bag and two extra polos hanging up in the back in case the house has cats or they're a smoker. And now you can change. I had to have Febreze and Axe just ready at the ready. I don't know I'm walking into, but I'm not leaving stinky. And you leave the house and you don't come home till the job's done. Remove yourself from the situations that distract you. And Josh, you're illustrating perfectly what new agents could do to get. Do you have to travel forever? Do you have to go on road trips forever? No, but you have to get the ball rolling. You have to establish disciplines within yourself, which you don't have now. You don't have them now. Let's just be honest, because if you had them now, you'd be making more money. And that's okay. That's why you're here. We're here to help you. That's what you're illustrating.
It's a game changer too. When you take someone out there and they watch you do something, then they're like, okay, I saw the videos, I did all this, but I was sitting right next to you and I watched it, right? That's a game changer too, because it changes their belief system. And I don't think people can go further than they believe. So like getting people out there, throwing down with them, getting in the trenches with them. And that's what we do. And, you know, as we like grow this thing and expand, I think it's very easy for me to say, I'm teaching Mel how to do something. And then once I get done teaching you, Mel, hey, I've got 2 other new guys that need to be trained. I'm sending you out here to go with them. And then she's going out there with them. And now she has a free booker that's going to book because he needs to learn how to do it anyways. And she's going to show him how to make money. And then he's going to go do the same thing next.
You're creating an army of assassins, bunch of sales snipers.
Yeah.
Williams sales snipers are coming for you. We're going to protect you. We're going to get you. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Bro, okay, so any final things you have for new agents just to get up and running fast? Any final things you would say?
I think you just got to do it. Like it's simple, but you got to do what's uncomfortable, which is pulling out your debit card, buying the leads. And when you don't have the results, go buy some more. Because when I came over here, the first thing I did was spend $1,600 on leads. I didn't have the return that I wanted. And I said, let's go do it again. You're going to learn, but you got to take your lumps. You got to take your L's, and that's the way it goes.
Amen, bro. Amen.